and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chamber of the Wraith. My name is Brian, and today I want to talk about one of the most disturbing combos that I was able to perform and how it was possible. Now, first thing I want to get out of the way, this is not, I repeat, this is not tournament legal. In no way, shape, or form can you do this in a tournament or in ranked. But it is possible in unranked sessions against Kotal cons. So I figured it best to talk about why the hell it is so friggin' scary. And we're gonna break it down in 5 main steps, each corresponding separately into the buffs themselves, and then some examples, and then the actual combo itself. So, first things first, we need to set this on, and then we'll do easy crushing blows just because. Okay, so you know what? I'm just gonna set to 100% for now, just because I don't want the constant beeping. So, we start with, by the way, this costume is not technically complete. I have to wait 2 weeks for that. So, first, let's start with the most important buff, because this is the buff that lasts the longest. Hui Hui, the command grab. This is an Ascension and is tournament legal. So pieces of it are, but others are not. So the brighter your tattoos get, the more damage you do. And each one has their set levels. So at level 1, you will be doing 10% more damage. At level 2, you will do 25% more damage. And at level 3, you'll be doing a whopping 33%. Now here's the thing about this crushing blow, or this buff in particular. Cinematics do not clear the buffs. So if I were to get the buff, it stays, regardless of if I have, or if I'm doing damage over time, or doing crushing blows, fatal blows, whatever. Cinematics do not get rid of this buff. It's basically only like Jax's heated up arms in that sense, but because no crushing blow requires him to be level 3, he doesn't reset when he does any of these crushing blows. So for instance, pretend that he broke away there. You see, the damage is ridiculous. You just have to remember one thing. To wear this buff down, you need to wait. Every 10 seconds, his Kotal Khan's tattoos will begin to dim. So there it is. Now it's dimmed down to level 2. And then after about 10 seconds, it'll dim down to level 1. And then after another 10 seconds, it'll dim down to reset. Now this is important to know because overall, that's 30 seconds of extra damage from Kotal Khan. Sure, it's less damage over time as the magic wears off, but it's still a lot of damage. And because it does not go away when you do it, it allows fatal blows to be particularly devastating. After just 2 of these, your fatal blow is doing 25% more damage. So you land this, and a 33% damage attack, give or take, does almost 400 damage instead of 34. Now here's the thing. It wears off partway through because of activation time. So it isn't 25% all the way through. However, remember, if you get 33%, and let's be conservative, and let's say you even get this, or let's not be conservative, rather. Let's say you secured it, and it's time to get a combo. They're dead. They're dead at this point, because your fatal blow is doing 33% more damage until this point where it's doing 25% more damage. That whole thing was 50%. Off of this conversion, brain dead, stupid easy, and on its own, without any of the buffs, this conversion only does, in quotes, only does 39%. So hardly worth it. So you can imagine how dangerous this can get. Next, we'll talk about the only buff that is truly universal regardless of how you buff it. The Sunbeam. This thing, of course, heals Kotal Khan for as long as he's inside it for a portion of his health. About 0.5%. So he heals a full 10% of his health whenever he gets it back. And you know it's percentage-wise because it's 5.5 and originally it was 5.0. Then, if I throw this on the opponent, they're taking 0.5% of damage over time, leading them to potentially take upwards of 10% damage if they stayed in the sun the whole time. However, it's not that simple. Let's take this sweep. 70 damage. Now it's 87.50. How? This just did 20% more damage, mon ami. And I do mean 20% more damage. Remember, this becomes it becomes 100. 20. So I think it's actually 25%? Hold on, I need to see. Yeah, I think it is actually 25%. I thought it was 20%. So it's actually a little more than I was expecting. So 25% more damage as long as you're in the sun, including damage over time. See that kind of damage? Or let's do this instead. Look at that was 22% damage. And of course with crushing blows, you can get 34%. You can get a fatal blow off of one of these. I'm gonna try something. I suppose it wouldn't work. But the thing is that like all other buffs, this does go away, so if I do a fatal blow, the buff itself ends up not being too much, but it goes from 38 to 46, so it's not terrible. Then we have Bullock's specialty. We know these totems. These black totems decrease damage taken by 20%. These things increase damage dealt by 20%, 40%, then 60%. So with all three of these up, I should actually be doing this. I'm getting almost 35% instead of what would be 22%. Instead of 31%. Instead of 29%. Now, let's start combining. The combinations are tournament league. Get these up, and then my sunbeam does more damage. Watch. Because of the extra 25% damage buff inflicted, it does this weird thing where it seems to add a little more to the percentage. So going from what should be, in theory, if I were to set this up, going from 8 points of damage to 10 points of damage, which is 8 points of damage 6%? Yes, it is. So it adds almost 40% more damage if Kotal is in there. So I'm guessing it adds some kind of percentage. But regardless, you're doing double damage while you have totems and sun up. So, and Kotal's in the sun. So, look at that. That was 1 bar, technically half a bar because of regen, and I did 50%, almost 51. And of course, if I were to be cheeky about this, I could just set this up in the corner and get more damage out of it. So I'm not that great at this, so bear with me on this. But did you see that? That was 55% damage. Oh, there's actually one buff I neglected to talk about, but that's because I can never get it. And that is this bad boy right here. So what does this do? It buffs my damage by 33%. For how long? Long enough to get 4 pokes out, maybe 5 if I'm really fast. That is probably about 2 or 3 seconds. But let's say I do this. Oh, that's right. And the thing is that it acts like a flawless block. So let me think here. How can I do this? Maybe. Come on. I can get more damage, is what I'm trying to say. So that was 66% more damage. So if you get, 33, 66, if you get really lucky with your parries, you can get a lot of damage. But for the purposes of this video, we're basically going to ignore these until maybe we get really lucky and have one of these. And then we can do something like this. But I digress. So, like I said before this, we set up this, we set up this. Maybe I can do 2 of those and then... Nah. If I do this... Just by doing that, and I panicked and went for Fatal Blow. This is still gonna do 64%? Just about? Yeah, that's a lot of damage. But we ain't done yet. Remember, if we have this set up, the totems may be gone, but I still got almost 48%. Or how about this? %57.5% on most characters. And that's with just one parry, which generally is what you should be going for if you're going to be messing around. Now, how about we include another legal combination? Command Grab and Sun. I'm only doing 4 to keep it steady. We're going to just do this combo just for ease of consistency. But that was 50% plus a little extra. So that's almost 51% on 33%. So remember, our baseline, which we should always have a baseline, is 25%. So that was effectively double damage for the whole thing. And just like double damage this way, well, actually it's more. It's almost 61%. So now you can probably imagine what would happen if I decided to say fuck tournament legality and do all 3. The totems, the sun, and the command grab. All set up, all ready to go, all tournament legal. Now watch this. I did 80%. 80%. The setup took ages, of course. And you would probably never get this in a real fight, much less in a tournament setting. But if you got all 3 command grabs, all 3 totems, and the sun with control in the corner, you have a recipe for some of the highest damage Mortal Kombat 11 will ever offer. And this is without augments too. I know I posted a video before the augment shift of Baraka doing like 5,000 damage, but that's cheating. But remember this, we're missing one key factor. We're missing a parry. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to work, but I may be able to kill Joker with this. Set this up, set this up. That was 875 damage. That was literally 7/8 of the Joker's health in one fell swoop. Now comes the really fun part. Remember, all of this can be combined together. Let's say I'm doing it in Buluk. Combine all of this with a fatal blow, and you have yourself 67% or 2/3. And remember, we're missing one key factor. Let's suppose that your opponent didn't expect this. That's 65%. That's basically the same amount of damage. It kind of varies a little bit, but it's basically the same amount of damage. You want unlimited power? You want maximum damage? Then I'll give you maximum damage, my friends. I will give you 95% damage. How's that sound? Okay, I flubbed it up because I did the wrong input, but that was still 93% damage. That's a sweep away from killing someone from full health. And of course, we can do better. Remember, we did a little more damage with the sword swings than we did with the sickles because they both launch, but the swords do more damage. There we go. Exactly 94% on the Joker and most characters. Well, we can do better. You know we can do better because you know there's a factor missing. You know there's a piece of the equation that we haven't factored in. If my theory is correct, then there's a chance that we can do a TOD with Kotal in Mortal Kombat 11. No guarantees. If this is a touch of death combo, you guys will probably be thankful that tournament legal variations are a thing in this game. Because, good lord, imagine having to deal with what we're about to deal with Kotal Khan. Even theoretically, even with the smallest of small chances, even with the tiniest of tiny chances that this is a TOD, this is gonna be ridiculous. Oh. Holy crap! Oh my god! I did not expect that! That was, for all intents and purposes, a bona fide, true, actual touch of death combo. Is it possible in competitive variations? Fuck no. Shang Tsung has a tournament legal touch of death combo, but it requires one character and the stars and the moons to align. And the hands of an incredibly skilled player. This is just math. 33% plus 20, 40, 60%. 100% if we factor in the sun, plus 33% damage. What can that even factor to as one single hit? Could we break 50% damage with a single strike? I don't think so. Not without it being a crushing blow. But we can at least estimate the grand total of buff damage that we get with this character. I'm not sure if you saw that, so I'll have to play it in slow-mo. But my friends, that was 18% damage off of forward 3. Forward 3 does 50 damage. And these moves are really good because if you double the damage that they do, you get your percentage if you break it down into percentages. So the fact that this did 176.8 damage times 2 is 352.4, I think. I know it's 352, but I don't think it's a 0.4. So let's just say 352 for easy math. Convert that to percentage. That's 35% damage. No crushing blows, no fatal blows, no combos. 1 forward 3. This button doing 18% damage or 35% damage is mind-blowing. And what's better is we never factored crushing blows. We never factored this in. We never factored this in. We never factored it in with the command grabs or the parry. So guess what is happening, folks? We're factoring it all in. We're putting it all in to do the most amount of damage that we can do with a single crushing blow. Which I believe should be a throw. I fucked it up. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that we are going to do an obscene amount of damage. $664.49. 66.5% damage with a single input. This is why I love messing with buffs in characters. Combining everything that we have, we were capable of doubling the damage. No, more than doubling the damage of this throw. Let's even do some math, because we love doing math. So, 665. It's just a quick roundup just to get the point across, right? So, let's see. 645 divided by 310 gets us 2.08, 2.1 if we round it up, or 105% more damage. It more than doubled, of course. But, like I said, you're never gonna get this. Remember, the most you can do is 3 of these 4. You can parry, stun, and either command grab or totem. And each have their own benefits. With the totems, you get more raw damage off the cuff. 370. But remember, they go away during cinematic events. So, if I were to, I don't know, do 3 command grabs, which buffs my damage by 33%, but completely ignores that caveat that every other buff in the game has to deal with, I'm willing to bet we get almost the same amount of damage. I'm just kidding, we get more. And I do mean more. That was 412, that was 41%. So, if you want just raw damage, the kind of damage that no character should ever be able to get, pick up Ascension. Pick up Ascension because you get all 3 of your buffs correct, and you're doing 41% damage off of just a throw. But your totems will be your best friend if you're not fishing for crushing blows. Look at that. That was almost 69% damage. Nice. And it's faster. Oh, that was a flash. See how that did 750 damage? See how much damage that did? I'm willing to bet that we can even beat it with Ascension. Because remember, there was a crushing blow attached. And if we can basically ignore the crushing blow, I'm willing, or if we're willing to basically ignore that, we could probably almost kill the Joker with this.
Where's the sun?
Except I forgot something. There's actually something I forgot about with Ascension. You can't amplify your totem beam because your totem beam has to be placed somewhere on the map. So, we're going to pretend that we're playing Ascension. I don't want to switch variations, so we're just going to pretend that we have switched variations and we're just going to see what comes of this. We're just going to quickly throw him back in the corner. We'll just set up normal sun. Do this. So we do get less damage. It's ultimately apparently dependent on the kind of combos you do. If you go for longer combos, then the totems might work out for you in the long run. But if you just want a single raw damaging starter, then Ascension may be your better bet. Because remember, it completely ignores those events. So you can, in theory, by manipulating the systems in place for this game to get rid of buffs in your favor, essentially using Ascension to its full potential, you can get more damage. Than you would ever be able to get with the totems. And it gets better, because remember, I didn't do a crushing blow there. I didn't do this after the parry. Or this. Or one of these. I don't think he has anything else that launches. So, that is essentially Kotal Khan. This was just supposed to be a breakdown of one of the most bonkers combos I've ever been able to do. We're disregarding tournament legality, but it kind of just turned into a breakdown of why Kotal's buffs are so goddamn terrifying.
Where's the sun?
Like, it is, in a word, horrifying the amount of damage that Kotal Khan's capable of doing. Look at that! I managed to match the totems, and I didn't even do Fatal Blow. How's 75% taste, Joker? And remember, I'm back down to 10%, so I have to replenish my blood tanks. But that is why tournament variations exist. Could you imagine how ridiculously broken it would be if Kotal Khan was allowed to get parry, sun, totem, and command grab in one fell swoop? It would be nothing short of a nightmare. This is the kind of damage that should not be possible for a single input. Watch this. One command grab, no meter. 44%. Now let's pretend that I do have meter.
Where's the sun?
This is one command grab. 61.5% damage. I can throw these kinds of damage calculations at you all day long. But I suspect you already know. There is a very good reason. Because there's a very, very good reason why you can't do that. Because if you thought pre-patch Buluk with both of these buffs active was insane enough, imagine if Buluk was able to channel his command grabs as well. Just by getting, let's just say, the most conservative scenario. Let's just do the most conservative scenario. One command grab and one of these. That was 33% without even trying. Now combine all three, and we have ourselves a recipe for Armageddon. Except you gotta be careful, because those totems will destroy themselves. Oops. I don't think I need to remind you guys that allowing a command grab that buffs damage to do double damage when fully leveled with 3 totems is a terrible idea. So, for those of you who want competitive variations to include a custom variation, I say think about that decision very carefully. Because this is just one example. And I might actually, if everything goes according to plan, get some more competitively inclined players to talk about this. I'm not going to be able to get the likes of Sonic Fox or Dragon or Silvereye or Jackal or any of those guys to be able to come in and talk about this kind of thing, but if I get extraordinarily lucky and get somebody who is in that sphere, the sphere that houses guys like Forever King, Infinity, Romanova, those kinds of players, then I'm willing to bet that with custom variations, they can whip up some truly disgusting scenarios. So, as fun as custom variations are, I'm really glad that that is not the tournament standard. Don't forget to be awesome, my friends, and I'll see you guys on the other side.